I'm Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eichenberry in real life, and today I'm out at the Gator Farm. This Gator Farm and Ranch, they have airboats out here too, and it's a great place. You can see all kinds of alligators out here. I guarantee, if you come out here, you will see an alligator. They're out here in near Pascagoula, Mississippi, and I put a link below in the description, and so you can check them out. So next time you're in Mississippi, you can come down here and check them out. So I got this this question from Space Cowboy. And he says it's kind of a weird question, but he says that he thinks it's kind of risky. Do I think it's risky to buy gold in Diablo 3 off of Chinese websites? And he says that he's been waiting for it to come available in the Real Money Auction House, but it keeps not happening. And he thinks that when it does, it's going to be extremely inflated. Let's see. And he says that he doesn't mind investing a few bucks in the game, but wants to know what I think about whether or not this is a good idea, you know, if he can't wait. And basically, here's my thoughts on this. And my thoughts is that you need to wait for the Real Money Auction House, and then you don't buy the first day that it's open. You buy 2 or 3 days after you start looking. Because you're right, it will be inflated right away. And the prices right now, I've taken a look, and they are kind of high. But, you know, the problem is it violates the terms of service. If you get caught, you could get your account banned. And if you support the stuff happening, the transfers with real money that happen outside of the game, then basically you are supporting botting, and you're supporting other stuff that you find to be less desirable within the game. Now, that's not to say that all gold in the game, when you buy it through the Real Money Auction House, you know, that some of it won't be botted, because it's possible that some of it is. But the likelihood is, if you go through the authorized channels that Blizzard has set up, you are going to have less issues. Now, some of the other issues that you can have with buying from these sites is that when they get nervous about your payment, they'll ask you for ID. And then when they ask you for your ID, if you send it to them, then that is an issue, because you have then exposed your ID out there to somebody in a foreign country that, you know, you don't know what their morals and ethics are. And in fact, let me tell you a story, and I'm not saying everybody is like this, but I've encountered this a few times when dealing with people who are from China. And I'm not saying this is everybody there, but I've experienced this a couple of times. And I have other experiences from other countries. There are some countries that are very sensitive to what you say. There are some countries that will just steal from you, and you know, if they can. And then there's other ones that want to teach you a lesson. And that has been my experience in dealing business-wise with some Chinese sometimes, is that they... these particular people that I was dealing with, they scammed me. And they basically ripped me off. And when I confronted them about it, they said, yes, I have taught you a lesson. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I've learned a lesson. You still stole my money. And, you know, but they're like, no, you just paid for a lesson. And so in this instance, it basically was they screwed me, and I should be thanking them for them teaching me how not to get screwed like that again in the future. I thought that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, but what I've found is that different cultures view things different ways. And so you know, it's just like, let me start with Americans. I'm an American. Americans think they own everything and should control everything, and you know, have all the power, have all the right answers, very arrogant. Then, you know, there's like Canadians, which are very friendly to everybody, and many of them don't lock their front doors because nothing ever happens there. And then there is Brazil. Brazil, don't even bother taking your wallet with you. because even if you have it well hidden, you may get it pickpocketed, and that's okay. Then even, I had, well, I guess the ones I've been affected by the most are Chinese, but I'm not saying that everybody is that way. And so I've been ripped off several times, and usually it was with dealings. I wasn't buying currency or something like that. It all had to deal with selling game codes. And, there's another video that I have of parents that allowed their son to steal $13,000 from our company. And, the ethnicity of them is not important, but just the fact that when I contacted his parents and everything, because what he had done is he had stolen Dad's credit card, and he made a couple of purchases, and it wasn't noticed right away. And then, a couple months later, he starts making more purchases, and Dad still didn't notice it. And then starts buying every day, and bought a whole lot of stuff. It was more than $13,000 worth. It was more like $20-some thousand worth, if I remember right. And the amount of money, though, see, when chargebacks happen, they can typically only go back 3 months. And so in the last 3 months, it had been $13,000 worth. There was much more that they had purchased. So in total, it was well over $20,000. And so basically, when these chargebacks came in, we contacted them to say what was up. And we found out that it was son using Dad's credit card, and that he did not have permission. And we're like, okay, well, product has still been delivered. We need you to drop these chargebacks. And they refused. I said, okay, well, if you don't want to drop the chargebacks, then how about we file police charges against him? And because he needs to learn his lesson one way or another, and you need to be responsible for him. He's a kid, he was 14 or 15, and they refused. And so we looked at pressing charges and everything, and it ended up being to where the dollar amounts were not enough to get a case, to where we knew that we could get a case, anything done with it. And so we ended up not pressing charges, but that has always been my stance, that if your kid steals from you and then steals from us, and then you do a reversal on the charges, I expect that you as a parent are going to take care of those charges. And if you're not willing to take care of them, then I expect that you think that your kid is out of control and the law should be brought in. Because we can't, you can't allow your kids to do that. What kind of message does that send to your kids? So you just sent a message that, it's okay to steal if you can get away with it. And that's not okay. So basically, so I've gotten way off track here. And basically, do I think it's okay to buy from these other places? I think that very few of the third-party sellers can be 100% trusted. There's a lot of them that spring up and that do a little bit of business, and they disappear. And they disappear with not having, delivered product and all of that. So, then you're screwed. And I've seen that many, many times. And many times, these sites, they tend to have these fake security seals on them and stuff. And in fact, back when I was running Trust2, they would even take our logo saying that they were Trust2 verified and stuff, and they would link it to somebody else's account, and to try and make it look like it was legit, and then that person would get a bunch of complaints against them, and it wasn't even them. So, anyway, be very, very careful. Hold out for the real money auction house to have it, because I don't think it'll take too long from now. And so, now, let's talk about a couple other things here with this stuff. How about What the Fast? What the Fast is an application that if you are going long distances for your internet connection to your game server, that it may reduce latency for you. There's a link in the description, and you can check it out. If it does reduce lag for you, then use it. It doesn't for everyone, and it's because of how it works. And so it only works for a set of the population, not for everyone. In fact, and also if you're already right next to the game server and you try and use it, and you're already right next to it, it'll actually increase your ping time. But it's not designed for people like you because you already have an awesome connection to the game. So somebody who comments here, we will give you a 30-day advanced key. We're going to select one person for that. And then also we have an upcoming game that we're going to be covering called Bust and Rush, and I have guaranteed spots in the beta. And so basically, one of you who comment here, I'll make sure that you get in the beta. We will select you. You got to accept our messages. If you don't accept our messages, then you won't know that you've won, and because we won't be able to message you. So we're going to move on to the next person if we can't message you. So just add us to your contact list in YouTube if you block people by default, and then we will be able to message you. You had Marky Dragon. So that's everything today. I'm Marky Dragon. Take care.